My Steam library, well, most of them, ranked. Let's get rid of the clutter first.
Oh my goodness!
A Hat in Time. This is a game I tried out back when I was going through a phase of gaming drought. Everyone says, oh, you play too many shooters, play different genres. So I tried this game, a platformer. Pretty art style, but the genre just isn't for me. AI The Somnium Files is a Spike Chunsoft game. Wait. Don't go to the next one. Okay, yeah, these are the people that made Danganronpa.
Oh!
But this is actually a pretty decent game. I don't really play many visual novels. In fact, this is pretty much the only one I've played, but it's really neat. There are a few moments of cringe.
The LGBT community is rich in sensibility, has excellent taste, and is full of talented artistic people. And they share a common struggle. It makes them more sensitive and capable of sympathy. That's why so many of them are kind and caring. And they choose how to live their lives on their own terms. It means they have a strong backbone. So because of all that, I really respect them. They're even kind of cool.
But overall, it is a solid detective game with a unique branching of paths that all lead to the real ending. Buy it on sale though, it's not worth $40, I got it for $8. Alien Isolation. This game is pretty cool, but it was actually too scary for me that I ended up quitting it. Maybe when I have some hair on my chest, I'll give it another go. If you're not a coward, play this game. Among Us. Just play the mobile version or don't play it at all, if we're being honest, it's not worth $5. Apex Legends. Just play Titanfall 2. Aragami. Cool stealth game, but I got bored of it. Batman Arkham Asylum is the oldest of the Arkham franchise, but make no mistake, it is still a remarkable game. It has the greatest atmosphere of the entire series as the scope of the world is reduced to just Arkham Asylum rather than a wide city like the other games. Batman Arkham City deviates from Arkham Asylum in that the boss fights are actually good. The story is better, as well as the combat. Arkham Origins is an okay entry in the Arkham series. My biggest problem really is that there are some technical issues on PC that remain unfixed today. But yeah, the game's alright. Arkham Knight is great! Not so much if you were there for day one on PC, but I wasn't, so I don't care. Combat and gameplay is at its peak here, and the introduction of the Batmobile, well, it has a mixed reception for a reason. Overall though, it is the definitive Batman game, and no one can tell me otherwise. BattleBit Remastered. This game is great, but none of my friends will touch it unfortunately, due to its blocky nature. It's a fun multiplayer shooter, which means a lot when I say it, because to me, most multiplayer shooters are either whatever, or rage-inducing to me. Play this game. It is a good game.
Hey everybody, there's only two things I like, propane and Bobby, and I absolutely hate Nick.
Black Desert. I got this game for free, and it's the first and only real MMORPG that I tried out, and I was not a fan. I'd rather play Toontown Rewritten or even Tanky Online if we're being honest, but that's just me. Borderlands 2 is a great game, but it suffers from the fact that you won't really get all the cool skills until you beat the game and go on to true Vault Hunter mode. And this is just me, but people talk about Borderlands 3's awful dialogue, but I didn't enjoy it in this game at times either.
These fine-ass women could stop that train for you, but I'ma need their badonkadonks first. That mushy snuggle bites badonkadonks. She's my main squeeze. Lady's got a gut full of dynamite and that booty like, oh. Climb the pipe to the train, or you'll go insane. What? That's a rap song I wrote.
Shut up! Just stop taunting me!
Will you shut up? Hey. Shut the hell up. Shut up. Shut up! Skylar, shut up! Please shut up! Stop. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Call of Duty Black Ops. I haven't touched the campaign yet, and multiplayer is out of the question, but Zombies mode with your friends is some of the greatest fun you can have. Same applies for Black Ops 2. Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Wild West first person shut the fuck up. Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Wild West first-person shooter with great gunplay, duels, and a cool plot twist at the end. Need I say more? The Coffin of Andy and Leyley. This game has been slandered as the incest game, but it should really be called an incest light, because the incest is completely optional. I ended up playing this game so I could see for myself how degenerate this game was, and I found out it was indeed degenerate, but for way different reasons. You murder and eat your parents in this game, but oddly enough, I think this game is actually quite interesting, and I can't wait to see it reach its conclusion. Condemned Criminal Origins. The game Pyrocynical covered that I sat down and played through a bit and didn't really care about. I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh, maybe I'll try playing it again at another point, but yeah, F.E.A.R is better. Crab Game. This is a very fun game to play with friends, although don't expect riveting gameplay features and innovation. It's a turn off your brain and mess around with your friends kind of game, and it's very fun in that regard. Cyberpunk 2077. This is an interesting one. I used to be the biggest Cyberpunk 2077 hater due to the resurgence in popularity it garnered from that one anime that I still haven't and never will watch. One day it went on sale and I picked it up and I found it to be an alright game. Not amazing or worth devoting your entire personality around like some people on Twitter tend to do, but it's an alright game surprisingly. Still a bit buggy at times though. Dark Souls 3. I cannot for the life of me enjoy this game. Every time I play this game, I end up just walking around, slashing at random enemies, defeat the first couple of bosses, die a lot, and then get bored and uninstall. Get good? Maybe, I don't know. Putting aside the difficulty of trying to play this game on keyboard and mouse, this game just isn't all that interesting to me. Dead by Daylight. A very cool game conceptually, but it struggles with the most important part of a game, being fun. Honestly, I like the Roblox version more. Deep Rock Galactic is a very cool PvE game that I would really like to get into, but when I play by myself or with randoms, I find myself bored. But it is a well-made game, and if my friends bought it and played it with me, I think we would have a good time. Dishonored is a sick game. You can be super stealthy and be a pacifist, or be an absolute menace and go wild with everyone. I'ma be real, I never really was all that invested in the story, but the gameplay is so fantastic that it just doesn't matter. This is a must play for sure. Same applies with Dishonored too. Don't Starve Together is a survival co-op game that looks cool, but isn't fun for me personally. Honestly, I could say that about most survival games, or games with survival elements. Dying Light is an excellent parkour zombie game that is great fun with your friends, although higher difficulty is just spongy enemies, which is never a good thing. This game is one of the good zombie games in an incredibly oversaturated genre. Maybe once in a while, a little bit of Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is a decent game that I actually used to be quite fond of. I played this game on my brother's Xbox One and absolutely loved it. Trying to play it these days though, I find myself struggling to enjoy the game, as the RPG elements are far and few between. The gameplay is fun, but man, is the story so goddamn boring. That's where Fallout New Vegas comes in and saves the day. Fallout New Vegas' biggest sins are crashing a lot and the gunplay being a bit stiff compared to Fallout 4. Other than that and unrealized potential due to time restrictions, this game is better than Fallout 4 in every other way. From atmosphere to world building, characters, and it is more of an actual role-playing game where your stats have a discernible effect on gameplay. Far Cry 2 is the only Far Cry game I've played and it's a bit underwhelming. I had to install some fix so the NPCs would stop bouncing. Got bored and uninstalled, but maybe I'll finish it someday. F.E.A.R and F.E.A.R Extraction Point are delicious gaming experiences that will leave you creeped out due to the many scares, but also focus on the wonderful combat brought on by the Point Man's off-the-charts reflexes. There's also Perseus Mandate, but I stopped playing it an hour in because I was tired of it all. F.E.A.R 2 was kinda meh. Although we did get one win out of that game and that was the ending. F.E.A.R 3 was hyped up by my man Quarter to be a peak co-op experience only for us to play for an hour and be disappointed. I got For Honor because it was cross-play apparently and then proceeded to get absolutely destroyed by my friends. What a waste of money. Unlike F.E.A.R 3, The Forest was actually the peak co-op experience. A game that manages to be scary and unnerving while in the presence of your friends is a good one. Working together to survive and become better equipped, exploring all these caves and facing these disgusting abominations with the boys is an experience I'll always be fond of. Friday the 13th game. I got this in a horror bundle along with Dead by Daylight, Layers of Fear, and White Noise 2. I was Jason for my first ever game and got killed. Yeah, I never touched the game after that. I know Garry's Mod is what you make of it. I've seen people do incredible things in Garry's Mod or just mess around with friends, but my experience is a bit different. What me and my friends ended up doing is just playing Dark RP, which is one of the worst gaming experiences I've ever had. Gameplay consisted of just bunkering down in a building and having a bunch of money printers and other such devices, and then having it get raided. And then when you want to go raiding, you have to follow a bunch of goddamn rules or else you'll get pulled aside by the admin. This game is like if Reddit was real life. You're always getting into trouble for doing the littlest thing. That is what I associate with Gmod now. Go play another server? Man, everything else is dead, and then when you do find something you might want to do, you will spend 70% of the time downloading all these assets, and then you finally get on, and you realize it's garbage and leave. Grand Theft Auto 4. I made an entire video on this absolute gem of a game. Great story, simple fun gameplay, 2008 vibes throughout, 2 banger DLCs, what's not to love? This is my favorite game of all time. Check it out, for sure. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I used to be a hater of this game I had never played due to the fact that many would say it was way better than GTA 4. I gave it a try one day and damn was it good. Love listening to the dust, love making my way from broke nobody to king of the goddamn world. The story was great and I'm glad I gave the game a chance. Grand Theft Auto 5 isn't a bad game, but it left less of an impression on me than 4 and San Andreas. I will say, those trailers were goddamn hype back in the day. This game is alright to me. Guilty Gear. Strive. This is my first fighting game. I don't really enjoy fighting games as it turns out. Making inputs on the D-pad feels weird and inconsistent, and I only really have fun when I win against someone worse than even me. Biking is bad as hell though, so we'll give it C tier. Half-Life. It's okay. Halo, the Master Chief Collection. I got this back when it only had Reach on PC, solely because of how much fun I had playing the El Dorito mod. Tried to play multiplayer there and got destroyed by aim assist. I plan on playing all the campaigns in the future, but for now it shall sit dormant in my Steam library. Hitman 2016 is an alright game. I played it a while back on my cousin's Xbox One and had a fun time with it. Trying to play it these days though, I just can't get invested in it. Hitman Contracts is one of the few games I got back when I first built my gaming PC, and for some reason I thought to buy a bunch of old games. I'm glad I did though. Hitman Contracts is my favorite Hitman game because it has a distinct charm that I can't quite describe. In terms of gameplay features, you'd probably be better off with the newer ones, but Contracts is special to me. Just Cause. This game is old, but I had a blast with it back when I had no other games to play. And I got it for dirt cheap too. Good soundtrack, and I actually remember the ending of the game, unlike 3 because of how cheesy it was.
You see what happens when you make me angry? What a mess.
Just Cause 3. I don't even remember if I finished this game. Had fun with it though, especially the wingsuit. Just Cause as a whole isn't the most memorable franchise ever, but it is some good dumb fun. Kane and Lynch 2, Dog Days. Not the worst Dog Days content I've ever consumed, not the best either. This is another game Pyrocynical covered and it isn't very good. Seamus will tell you how I feel about this game.
It was the worst 60, but that was worse. No, it was better than Kane and Lynch actually. If the game ended now, I think it'd still be better than Kane and Lynch 2. To be completely honest with you. I think it would be like a 5.5, and Kane and Lynch still got a 4. I think the game would definitely be like a 5.5 so far. Which is a lot better than Kane and Lynch 2. And we haven't even done anything yet.
Left 4 Dead 2 is the best co-op game ever made. No contest. The base game is good enough, but throw in workshop content, even better. The only downside is that me and my friends have pretty much played everything worth playing. Repetition is never good. If any Valve game were to get a 3rd entry, I'd definitely want it to be Left 4 Dead. Lego Batman the video game, along with Lego Indiana Jones, the original adventures, are incredibly nostalgic to me. I will admit that Lego games as a whole aren't very good once you become above the age of 12 and realize they're boring, but these 2 games hold a special place in my heart. Lethal Company, a simplistic yet pretty fun co-op horror game. Gets repetitive a little quick though.
A fucking little girl!
Marvel Spider-Man Remastered is okay. The Sinister Six was cool. The problem I had with the game was that Peter and MJ were kind of boring. Gameplay is also whatever. I like Arkham more. Max Payne is a challenging but fun experience that is worth playing through. The noir is great, and Sam Lake as Mr. Payne is pretty funny. I have a pretty similar opinion of Max Payne 2, although I wasn't a fan of the main villain in that game. But you win some, you lose some. Max Payne 3 is by far my favorite of the 3, and another one of my favorite games.
Oh my god! Max is bald? Brazil?
This isn't Max Payne. This is this Rockstar story and they put Max Payne in it!
I do not care. This game as a whole has a way different tone from the other games, and I wouldn't have it any other way. James McCaffrey, God rest his soul, has the best performance in this game compared to the other 2. The gameplay of this game is absolute perfection. Euphoria physics is excellent as always. Movement through shoot dodge is as smooth as it's ever been. The art direction of the game is... These are the subtitles I want, none of this YouTube Shorts crap. This game is peak Rockstar, but of course the reception this game got doesn't reflect that. People blame the corporations for how all entertainment media is basically garbage now, but remember, You guys did this. Buy Max Payne 3 and play it. I will say, this game has one fatal flaw. Unskippable cutscenes. Metro 2033. Got this game due to its popularity and comparisons to S.T.A.L.K.E.R. I will say it was unique in its own special way, but I wasn't the biggest fan of it. It is a good game though. Murder Miners is another inexpensive game I got when I first built my PC. This is kind of a crossover between Minecraft and Halo if I were to describe it. It's pretty fun, but suffers from a lack of a player base. Give this game some love, especially with Murder Miners X around the corner. Muse Dash. Muse Dash. I don't know how you say it. A pretty chill rhythm game. Pretty good. Nightmare of Decay. One of my biggest problems playing through Resident Evil 1 Remake was that the camera angles suck, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Nightmare of Decay is pretty similar to Resident Evil's survival horror experience, with a difference in perspective. It doesn't have an iconic cast of characters and BOWs or anything, but it was a good time. Overwatch 2. Trash. No, I will not elaborate. Payday 2. It's like Left 4 Dead, but instead of infected, you're fighting cops, and instead of trying to survive, you're trying to rake in some dough. There's a large variety of weapons, different builds to try out, and it's just a good time all around with friends. Persona 5 Royal. I'm a Persona fan, I guess. Well, I got into the franchise by watching the Persona 3 movies back when I was in elementary school, and then watching John Awesome play F.E.A.R on YouTube. I didn't have a console, you see. Anyhow, I finally got to play a Persona game myself. Officially, I mean. I emulated Persona 3 but didn't finish it because I lost my data. Anyhow, Persona 5 Royal was great until it dragged out for way too goddamn long. Kinda how I dragged out this section. I could have got the vanilla ending, but opted for the world content instead. What a mistake that was. Phasmophobia. Me and my friends liked playing this game until we realized we could never really find the ghost room, and we were really just messing around until we got killed or left and didn't identify the ghost correctly. Portal and Portal 2 are fantastic puzzle games that go beyond being just a puzzle game with a unique story and lore that tie into the Half-Life universe. Portal Reloaded is more Portal. Enough said. Postal 2 is a fantastic game that has kept me entertained way longer than it had any right to. It's known for its vulgar humor, and I enjoy it for that reason, but I love the weapons and gameplay as well. This is a fucking great game. Project Zomboid is a game I got into because a YouTuber said it was good. Never again will I make the same mistake. Prototype is a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, this game absolutely refused to work on my desktop and no fixes worked. On the other, I played through all of it on my Steam Deck and it was an absolute blast. Alex Mercer is cool as hell. All your powers are cool as hell. I wish I was Alex Mercer.
I'm back.
Red Dead Redemption 2 was a worthwhile experience, but I'm not so sure I'll ever play it again. It was great, don't get me wrong, but I don't feel as though it has that much replayability. Story was great, although Epilogue John looks disgusting. Resident Evil Remake is a game I had to be on easy difficulty, while hardcore mode on any other RE title is not really a big deal. Unlike those games, you can't really go around killing everything that moves. RE1 Remake setting is great, although not very scary as some people would have you believe. But it is the most unique location in all of Resident Evil in my opinion. I've mentioned this already, but fixed camera angles ruined this game for me. I just can't adjust to it. It's worth playing though, for laying the foundation of Resident Evil's story, rather than just watching a YouTube summary. Resident Evil 2 Remake is a game I would love to put in A tier, but alas, I actually never finished the game. I played through Leon's campaign twice, but when I went back for Claire's, I was so over it that I didn't want to continue. RE2 Remake has me actually scared initially, walking through the halls of RPD, and fighting Mr. X and Birkin are very memorable experiences. I do not care for RE3 Remake. I'm sure this isn't an unpopular opinion, but still. I don't really care about the cut content, or rather, I didn't play the original RE3, so I don't know what is removed content. The gameplay and the characters fall flat for me. I love playing as Jill in RE1, and then I go to RE3 and it's a complete 180 in character. No amount of lewd mods and pornography
or some other third thing
can make me care for this iteration of Jill. Her dialogue is god-awful, and it's not the classic RE cheese kind of dialogue.
It's my turn, bitch! Bitch can't even swim. Look, just so you know, this is the last fucking time. Next time, take the fucking hit! God damn it!
The location and environment aren't all that interesting and fun to navigate. This game just felt like a huge step back from RE2 Remake in both gameplay and tone. You already know how I feel about RE4 Remake. It's an alright game that's insane popularity and reputation is really the only problem I have with the game. It's an alright game that's insane popularity and reputation is really the main problem I have with it. This game is less fun than the original RE4, so I don't like it as much. It isn't bad, but they could have done better. The original RE4 is known for the massive departure of the series from survival horror to heavy action and guns blazing gameplay. The die-hard OG RE fans will tell you that these games are awful due to them not having a fixed camera angle, not being scary, and are therefore not Resident Evil. But then why would they have Resident Evil in the title? Are these guys stupid? Anyways, RE4 is a fun experience. It's good. I've never played Resident Evil 5 alone unless it was for some mercenaries. I can't say I'd recommend it with what I hear about the AI being annoying, but playing this game along with RE6 with a friend is an incredibly good time. Resident Evil 7 returns to the series' roots with survival horror, but takes a first-person perspective unlike any other mainline Resident Evil game. And what do you know? I like it. The Baker family are a great set of RE freaks. The problem is that the overall enemy variety is non-existent. You have this mold man and that's basically it. Still a great game though. Resident Evil Village is a solid fun game. My problem with the game is how the villains aren't the most iconic. They put Lady Dimitrescu as the first villain after all that marketing, just for her to die early on. Heisenberg is really cool, but that's pretty much it as far as the villains go. Moro and Beneviento are whatever, and Mother Miranda, the main villain of the game, is also just whatever as a villain. I still really like the gameplay though, and the plot twist was actually pretty good. Resident Evil Revelations is alright. It's not a mainline game, so I'll give it some slack. Revelations 2 is a little bit better. Rise of the Tomb Raider is a solid game that has you playing as baddie Lara Croft. I will say the story is not all that interesting, but the action makes up for it. Sleeping Dogs. This is a game that I thought was just some boring GTA clone until I gave it a try and had a blast. Fist fighting is fun, and although the world itself is a bit lacking, the gameplay is more than enough to make up for it. Stalker, Call of Pripyat. This is a definitive Stalker experience. This has the most features out of the trilogy and the best gameplay. The only problem I have with this game and Clear Sky is that Shadow of Chernobyl's story is better than the two of them by a mile. Clear Sky is more Stalker, except that the ending is rushed and you'll be constantly bleeding out to death and looting corpses for bandages. Shadow of Chernobyl is the one that started it all and is a gaming experience that must not be avoided. Play Stalker, you guys, it's fucking good. Anomalies and artifacts are cool, the factions are cool, the mutants are cool, just play the goddamn game. Super Fancy Pants Adventure is a great game, however, it is unfinished. The whole game leads up to this final boss, only for there to be a to be continued screen. God damn it, Brad Bourne, come back and make a sequel already. Titanfall 2. Earlier I said that multiplayer shooters for me tend to be either very underwhelming or just make me mad due to losing. This game is different. Whether you're a pilot facing another pilot, Titan facing another Titan, or a pilot facing a Titan, all facets of this game's multiplayer is delicious. Exquisite multiplayer aside, I understand that might not be many people's thing. Luckily for them, this game has a fun campaign and an actually interesting story, which is hard to come by these days. Rainbow Six Siege. Stressful game that sucks to play as a solo queue player. Even if my friends would play with me on PC, I probably still wouldn't have a very good time. Tomb Raider 2013. This is a solid action-adventure game that I got for $3. The story again is very uninteresting, but you play as hot woman and go on shooting spree, so good. Trepang 2? Japan Squared? I don't know. It's a game very similar to F.E.A.R, which is how I heard about it in the first place and picked it up. I fell off of it, but from the little bit I played, it was good and I had fun. I'll definitely be picking it back up again. Tunguska, I don't know if I'm saying it right, the Visitation is kind of like S.T.A.L.K.E.R, only from a top-down perspective. I tried playing it, and it's evident a lot of work went into making this game, but I've come to the realization that I do not like top-down shooters. Uno. Burn it with fire. This game didn't even work half the time we tried playing it. Ubisoft can't do anything right. Valheim is an experience that I really enjoyed. I played this game with my friend Quarta non-stop for a while, and it's not like the experience got stale or anything, but we were playing so much, I was overwhelmed, and it was then that I decided we needed to take a break from the game. But I have a bit of a curse. If I don't play a game for a long while, I find it really hard to pick up right where I left off. I have to start all over. But for this kind of game, that's not gonna happen. I just don't want to pick up this game again and start all over. But it is a good game, if that makes sense. Probably not. Watch Dogs is a fantastic game. Sure, it doesn't look like the E3 reveal, but I never really cared about that myself. Hack things and shoot things, good times. Watch Dogs 2 is pretty similar, except for all the cringy dialogue and the memes. If you can get past all the San Francisco BS, you'll find that the gameplay is solid fun. Alright, well that's all I have for now. What did we learn? Do not buy a bunch of games and don't play them. Will I learn from this? Hell no.
Thanks. And have fun.